Welcome back to Local Decision, and thank you for joining us. I'm Rusty Ray. We're joined today by Circle Pines City Council member Jennifer Rauner, incumbent, running unopposed this year for a second term.
Correct.
Welcome back here
Thank
to
you.
talk to us at North Metro TV.
Thank you for having me.
What was the best part about your first term on City Council?
Oh, there's a lot of best parts, but honestly, I have to say the best part is working with the team that we have right now. We have such a good dynamic in that council chamber and in the office with the city staff. We can have our varying opinions, but the way that we can discuss it and work through issues, express our own opinions and come to a decision that is going to work for the citizens in the city, that is by far my favorite part. It's not that, I don't have a little power trip. I don't like, that kind of stuff. It really is, it's working on the team to make the decisions in the city that we live in.
You lived in Circle Pines 10 years, or give or take?
It will be 19 years in December.
So a little bit more than that.
So, yeah.
What is special about Circle Pines?
Circle Pines is, you get that small town feel in a big area. We have the cities very close to us, and we have larger cities around us, but you can go 20 minutes, 25 minutes, you can get into Minneapolis and experience the culture there. You can go a half an hour north and take a walk in the woods without another soul around. So it's that placement, it's that small feel. We're not overpopulated, we're not overrun with large businesses. It's the area that makes it special. And then the fact that, you can get on your bike from your house and grab a trail and be on your way for hours in, just submerged in nature. So that's the biggest selling point for our family. And I think for a lot of the citizens of Circle Pines would probably agree that's why they want to live there.
And so in leadership, it's about preserving that or maintaining and looking for any opportunities to expand and improve those amenities?
Absolutely, absolutely. There is nothing that we are really looking to change about our city. Our goal, and I will speak for the rest of the members on my team, is really preserving what we have. Preserving those natural trails, those natural areas, those green spaces, to keep that feel that I was talking about earlier. And then the fact that we have such amenities as our police department and our fire department that are not solely run, we share them with other cities, but they aren't run on a grander scale. So preserving all of that, continuing to improve on our trails, and hoping we can connect actually a couple of our trails to actually get you out on the road a little bit further. So that's just, it's preservation, maintaining.
One example would be the county working on that trail behind Golden Lake Elementary, the Rice Creek Trail, and extending that. Again, connecting some existing activities there and allowing people to more fully enjoy, and then people to pass through or to connect to other parts.
Absolutely, absolutely. And stop by and have, a breakfast or a lunch at the Rusty Cow, or grab a water at one of the gas stations, and to be able to, because I think you're going to be able to go from Stillwater to Duluth if we can get those couple of those trail pieces connected. So that's huge to be able to put Little Circle Pines on the map.
You got Lexington right next door, and there seems to be a redevelopment model on a small scale there with the apartments and maybe something being torn down or property acquired and more dense housing. Lino Lake's still developing out a little bit more with more housing to go in. But Circle Pines, not really even a mix of those. Circle Pines is not going to be developed terribly much more. It's pretty much built out, right?
We are completely built out. We do not have the land or infrastructure for any new housing developments, any large commercial buildings. We do have the piece of property that the Down Under sits on right now. We're kind of, working with the property owners to try to get something in there that'll make sense for the city. But that's really it. Circle Pines is fully built out.
So a lot of attention may have been placed on Down Under by certain people. They see it, they wonder what the city's doing. An eyesore by some opinions, and it's been a slower process. It got knocked down, right, a few years ago, but it is just kind of sitting there. Are people every now and then asking you what's up, or people every day asking you what's up? What are people wondering?
Yeah, very frequently we get the question of what's happening with the Down Under. When it comes down to it, end of the day, it is a piece of privately owned property. And there are very few things that as a city we can force the owners to do. We were able to work with them to get the building torn down. There are some other maintenance issues that need to go on the property. They have not decided exactly what they would like to do with it, whether they're going to put it on the market for sale for somebody else or whether they're going to redevelop it. So we'll continue to keep on top of that and continue to keep working with the property owners to try to get something in there that makes sense for us.
If I'm not mistaken, there's a couple of big projects, I think, next summer coming down with the city doing street reconstruction.
Yep.
But if I'm not mistaken, the Rice Creek Watershed also going to be working on a drainage area
Drainage
through
ditch,
there.
yep.
So these are the kinds of things that people bring to City Hall wondering what's happening, we're hearing this, or if they start to see the construction start in a certain area and they maybe missed out on the information. So the city has been doing work through North Metro TV and certainly through its publication of its meetings and broadcast of its meetings to try to let people know that this is happening. But in your position, do you feel like that's a big part of what you do, is constantly updating if people come to you as a resource to understand this may be happening and the state's responsible or the county's responsible or the watershed's responsible? Is that a big part of what you do?
I wouldn't say it's a big part. It's definitely a part. You know, when I'm out and about and people know I'm on the city council, you know, they'll ask questions and I welcome it. We get emails and different sorts of communication about what is going on. We really try to put out as many publications as we can through our newsletter, updates at the city council meetings, newsletters in those specific areas to those citizens that it's affecting, and really making sure that we're getting the word out. If people have questions or really want to know what's going on in their area at that particular time, we're here. We want to answer your questions. Come talk to us. So we do have the one last big street reconstruct over by Galaxy, Twilight, and Twinkle in that area, and then I believe it's ditch 56 or
so.
86, 56, baby, and that runs along the backside of Carl Eck. So that's actually not our project, that's a county project. That's county-owned land and their responsibility to clean that out. And the reason that they need to clean it out is because it does go into Golden Lake. So we need to make sure that that is maintained and cleaned up. So unfortunately for that side of the north side of the city, we're going to have a lot of action next year, but we kind of did that just to make sure we did it all in one summer and not had 2 summers of back-to-back machinery going on in that area. So if you have questions, I encourage you to reach out to any of us.
Are there any challenges that the city, that you've seen in your 4 years now already, that the city is confronted and taken on and kind of come through, that can prepare it well for something else that may come up that's perhaps even unforeseen? Certainly we're in unprecedented times still, as we are here, but whether it was COVID or anything else, has the city really taken on a challenge, and were you surprised by the way it was handled, or were you encouraged by the way you got to see the machinations of all that happening?
No, I really, through the pandemic and being not allowed in the buildings and even for meetings, and how our city staff handled being in the office and taking care of the citizens that had to come in to either pay bills or get permits, ask questions. We had some monies available to us to redo our office, to make sure that everybody was safe. And the way that everybody handled it and the decisions that were made were wonderful. I mean, it felt like they had this plan in their back pocket already. The way it might not felt like that to them, but the way I saw it and perceived it was they really made it fluid and really made the changes, and that's really encouraging for anything else that might happen. You know, come this winter if we have to do that again, and having our meetings online, and the way that we can service our citizens still through that. Nobody panicked, you know, and that's really encouraging. The city administrator and the staff are incredible people. We have a credible group of people that help run our city, so that's very encouraging.
We've had a lot of fun with Dean and with the census man, and we've done stories, and he came in here dressed up as census man and all of that. But it really worked, and that's got to be good news for the whole city and for the council members to see that he really got out there. He really got Circle Pines out there, but also the people in town, whether they live in single-family homes or in the more dense housing, they got more people counted and achieved what was hoped to be achieved.
Yep. Absolutely. And, you know, and he did it in such a great way. You know, I don't think a lot of people really understand how important the census is and why it's important for your city to be counseled or counted. It's not just for big government and the state of Minnesota. It really affects small towns too. You know, like we've communicated over and over and over again. That was $180,000 that we were able to keep for our road infrastructure just by having people counted to our closer to our real numbers of our population. And the way that he did it, it was fantastic because he got out there, he got the information to people, answered any questions, and put a fun spin on it. So it was just, it was a great way that he handled that, and congratulations to the entire committee.
All right, it was good news for everybody.
Yes, it was.
Jennifer, that's the time we have. Is there anything you wanted to add that I maybe didn't ask you about your time thus far or the next coming 4 years?
Nope, thank you for your time, and I thank our citizens too, and we'll see you on voting day.
All right, Jennifer Rauner, thank you very much.
Thank you.